Dear students, welcome to my channel. Now, in the last video, we have learned about two visualizations, and one of the important visualizations that we have imported is the violin plot. Now, in the violin plot, we have seen that how our items sold by sub-product category, and we can see the distribution in terms of statistical measures. In the second visualization, called the tree map, we have seen items that has been sold by the different categories of the products, and we have four different categories, that is bikes, clothing, components and accessories. And we have seen how the revenue or maybe the items that has been sold is changing with respect to revenue over a period of time. Okay, so in the last video we have seen how we can do the product distribution analysis, and previous to that we have also learned about the distribution of the product that has been done, right? The revenue that has been generated from different products, and in the distribution we have seen how the items sold, that is basically the product items, how it is distributed in terms of statistical distribution. Now, in this video, we are going to learn about one of the important chart, that is a waterfall chart, which is used uh, as a visualization to see the change in terms of period. So say for example, this time we want to see what is my change in my revenue month on month. So if I want to see how month on month my revenue is getting changed, so for that I'm going to create a new page, and this time I am going to right click on it, and I'll just duplicate it because I want my branding logo, my KPIs, my slices, as well as my the area chart that is to be there within the same. Now in this I will just give the name month on month, so I'll abbreviate it month on month trend analysis. So I want to see basically what is my change that is happening on month basis. So as of now, I'm having this revenue which is there in terms of a matrix. Now let me just remove this violin plot, and let me just remove this also, the tree map, and we can have this space for the visualization over here. Now, first thing that I want to do is I want to see my change that is happening over a period of time and how it is changing month on month basis. So basically, I want to compare my revenue with my previous month revenue. So if you see in the F items, I am only having a revenue. Now this revenue is what? It is of particularly, say for example, that period, time period, maybe it's an year, month or a day. So I want to calculate a revenue in which it is calculating for the previous month. So here I want to use some time intelligence functions which is a previous month. And I want to calculate first of all my revenue which is of previous month. So say for example, if my revenue for the July is, let me just open it this one in focus mode. If this is my revenue 489 328, this is for July 2018, so that should be compared with the previous month. Now here I don't have any value before July, so say for example August 2018, so this revenue should be compared with July 2018 revenue. So first of all, I'll just make you understand how you can actually use the time intelligence function and how you create the measure for it. So for that, first of all, we'll create a measure. Now I want to create my measure over here in the F items. So first of all, I'll just right click on the F items and I'll click on new measure. Now here I want to calculate my revenue based on previous month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my name of measure, that is revenue previous month. This is the name of my measure, revenue previous month. Now To calculate the revenue for the previous month, I'm going to use a measure my revenue. Now I have to basically filter down my revenue and I have to compare it with my last month revenue. So whenever you want to filter any measure, there is a function in the text library which is known as calculate. So I'll just write down CAL and I'll just press tab key. Now calculate is a DAX function which is going to filter down your expression. Now here my expression is my measure which I want to use, that is revenue. So I'll just write down REV and you will see a calculator symbol that is there and I'll just press tab key. So basically I want to filter down my revenue, right? Calculate is an expression which is going to apply filters on your expression. Here my expression is my measure which is a revenue. Now comma, how do you want to apply the filters? The second argument is all about filter. Now since I want to filter my data by one of the time intelligence function which is known as previous month. You see we have four time intelligence function. The first is previous day, previous month, previous quarter and previous year. As of now I want to compare my revenue of the current month with my previous month revenue. So I'm going to use a function called previous month. Now this is one of the time intelligence function. Now in this time intelligence functions, I have to supply dates. Now these dates must be a consecutive dates. So if you remember, we have already created a calendar in which we have created a date column. So if you remember, we have marked date as a date table. So if you remember, in the calendar table, we have something known as date column, which is my date variable, and I am supplying my consecutive dates because whenever I want to compare my revenue with any of the particular date, it should be compared with exactly the previous month. So say for example, if the revenue was generated on 7th of July, so it should be compared with 7th of June. So we need to have consecutive dates inside a time intelligence function. So hence we have created a calendar table and we have created a table which is having a consecutive dates and we have named as a calendar table. So now my argument is over and let's press enter. Now here also we need to do the formatting. So you see the revenue previous month has been added over here as a measure. Now I want to have this measure in terms of United States English dollar. I want in currency format and it is should be in the zero decimal. Now, so I have calculated the first part that is my previous month revenue, right? Now, along with that, I want to see my month on month change. So for that, what I want to do is I need to have the change in my revenue that should be visible. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm again going to create a new measure. I'll just right click on it and I'll just click on new measure and I'll name this measure as month on month. MOM is abbreviated as month on month. Okay, you have to remember this industry notation that will be month on month, year on year, year to date, month to date. So these are expressions which are being used. So MOM refers to as the month on month change. So let me give this measure name MOM change. Now, how do you calculate the change? So basically, I want to have revenue that should be subtracted with the previous month revenue. So that will give me the change. Okay, if I whatever revenue that I'm having it, if I subtract the previous month revenue, so what will happen? It will give me the change. Now again, this will be a currency one. I want in English United States dollar as a currency, and I want in zero decimal. Now let me just now add a visual to my canvas, and here I am adding one of the important chart, that is waterfall chart. Now let me just show you this waterfall chart. Let me put it on focus mode. So you will see here we have something known as category, breakdown, y-axis, tooltips. So what I want is my measure to be there on my y-axis, that is month on month change, because that is going to show me how my revenue is going to change. Now I want it by, because I am taken the month on month change, month as a variable or month as a month as a attribute that I have taken, I want to see by fiscal month. Obviously, if you put fiscal month, then only it is going to show you this thing. So now it is going to give me the results of the revenue that is changing month on month. Now, if I go back to my report, you will see this is the visualization that is there. Now, say for example, now this visualization represents all the year. All the year means 2018, 2019, and 2020. Now, if I filter down my data, say for example 2020, so this will tell me what is my change month on month with respect to previous month. So say for example, here my base is my $0.0 million, which is my starting month of the July, and you can see what is the revenue that is there. If you see month on month change is 6,79,542 dollar, right? So you will see in the July it has increased. The green represents the increase. You can see over here in the legend part. The green again from in the second month it has decreased, but then it has again it has increased, and it has decreased in September. If you come to October, there is a great decline in my revenue change. If you see, it is written in the bracket. Now, if you see over here in the November and December, in December there is a very slight increase, but there is a drop down, great drop down in January. Then again it has increased into the February. Now, say for, and this is blue line represents my total change for that particular year. And let's go to 2019. If I click on 2019, you can see the July it has increased again from August. So this will become my base for this figure will become my base. Previous year, previous month figure will become my base or a starting point for the next month, right? Now say for, and this is my total change that has happened. So if the total change is above zero, it is considered as a positive. Now let's go for 2018. If you see in the 2018, okay, overall, if you see the change, it is green, then again it is green. Where there is a red, it's a decline, and the blue will tell us the overall change. Now, if I want to see this figure into terms of numbers, then also we can able to see it. But let me just format this visual. So I'll go to format visual. X-axis, I want to keep it black color, and I want to keep it bold, and I want to increase the font to 10. And title, I want it auto, and I want in black color, and it should be bold. Then layout, I'll keep it as it is. Then y-axis, I don't want inverted range. I want values to be displayed in terms of black color, and it should be bold. Let me keep it 10. Display unit should be auto. For the title, I want black color and bold. And 12, it is fine. Legends, I want it on the top center. And the text, I want to keep it black, bold, and increase the size. And grid lines, I want to keep it little bit dark one. So, and transparency, don't want zero. I want to have it. Let me keep it black. But grid lines, I think grid lines are not required over here. I will not put it. Columns, I do not want to change the color. Data labels, I want it on. because I want to see the values also. And position, I'll keep it as auto. I want to keep it in black color so that it is visible. And I want to keep it bold. And background, the background, you can just use the background if you want it. I don't want any background, plot area background. I don't want it. Now let's go to general part, properties. Size, I will adjust it manually. Then position, I don't want it. And title, it is already there. I want to keep it bold. 14 size is fine. Subtitle, I don't want it. Divider, I don't want it. In the effect size, background, visual border, I want it. And I want it in 2 points. Black color, shadow, I don't want it. The data formats, I do not want to apply any formatting. Tooltip should be okay. So now my basic, let me just go to effect size, visual border, 2.21, rounded corner. Okay, not this one. I want this one. Okay. Now, okay, so this is my done. Now, if you visualize this figure, you can see the change. 0.49 million revenue was the change for which year? We have selected the year 2018. Let's go on 2020. You can see the change in 2020. So in 2020, it was 0.68, then it has again 1.55, then 0.17 million. We have negative revenue that has decreased. So this is tell you the month on month change. Now, if I want to see these values in terms of a figure, right? Then also we can go for it. Now let me just remove this selection and let me just resize this chart. Here I want to add my table because I also want to see my numeric value which is representing this chart, because sometimes chart are not very easily interpretable. So a lot of management wants that I want figures also. So for that I'm using something known as table. Now table is there in my fifth row and fourth column. Let me click on table and let me just resize the table. Now table, I want to see my revenue which is shown over here in terms of month. So I'll put my fiscal month, which is my first category. Then I want to see my revenue. So I'll just go to my revenue tab. So this is going to tell me the revenue for all the years. Now say for example, if I want to see for 2020, right? So you can see the revenue for 2020 in the July was 26.67. So this becomes my base, right, for this year, starting base for my this year. Now along with that, I want to see my revenue for the previous month. So I am putting my another measure called previous month. So you will see we have calculated over here previous month, previous and previous month. So you see over here that let me just put it on focus mode. The revenue for uh, the August, let's check out the August. For current, it is like for August, and this year is 2020, right? So for 2020 August, this is my revenue. Now I have to compare it with my previous month. So what was my revenue for the previous month? It was 26,67407. Okay. So you see this figure will appear over here, previous month. Okay. So revenue minus revenue previous month, that will tell you the percentage, sorry, month on month change. So let me just put it another variable called MOM change. This is what we have actually calculated. If you see, the revenue for the August 2020 was 42,20892. Previous month was 26,67407. So for August, this becomes the previous month revenue. And if we subtract $42.20 minus 26.67, so it is 15.53. So this revenue minus revenue previous month, that will tell you month on month change. So now if you go back to the figure, you will see over here Now the figure over here is, say for example, the figure shown is 6.79. So if we round up this figure, it becomes zero point 0.7, right? If you see the figure, it is written over here in this chart, it is 679,542. Okay, so if you go back to this visualization where we have created the month on month change, then it is 679,542. Okay, so I hope you got it, that revenue for July 2020. Now this revenue, if you understand July 26, this revenue, this will be compared with the June 2019. So if I go back and if I select 2019, so what is my revenue? So if you see, my revenue for the June is 1987, right? So June is 1987, which will be compared with this July, this figure. So if you see in the July, it is previous month revenue is 1987. So this 1987 will be the revenue for June 2019. If you see over here, right? June 2019, it is 1987. So for 2020, this figure will appear. This figure 1987. So this 1987 will be, this July will be compared with June 2019. Okay, so this is my month on month change, and this is the graphical visualization for this chart. Now let me just put it this in a, and let me just if I want, along with this month on month change, I want to see the month on month percentage change also. Now to check out for month on month percentage change, what I have to do is, I have already calculated revenue. I have calculated revenue previous month, and I've subtracted revenue minus revenue previous month to get MOM change. Now, if I want the percentage change on month, then what I have to do is, I have to divide my MOM change by previous month revenue. So that will tell you the percentage change, right? Percentage change, how do we calculate it? Revenue minus revenue previous month divided by revenue previous month. Okay, so that will tell me the percentage change. Now, revenue minus revenue previous month, we have already calculated, and we have given the measure name MOM change. So if we divide this MOM change by previous month revenue, then we can get percentage change for month on month, right? So what here we are going to do is, we are going to divide MOM change with revenue previous month. Now the important thing that we need to understand is, for 2018, if I am having a data for 2018, you will see, because my data is starting from July 2018, I do not have any revenue for June 2017, because there is no data which is available for 2017, because my revenue is starting, or it is given from July 2018 only. So if I want to see the change, percentage change over here, what will happen is that here you will get something known as error. What this error will be? So if you divide a figure with nothing, you will have something known as infinity error. So first of all, I'll just make you understand what kind of error can be generated when you don't have anything in the division part. Okay, so let me calculate another measure. I'll just click on item, I'll right click on item, and I'll click on new measure. Now this measure is my month on month percentage change. So this is the name of measure that I'm giving it. Now what I want is, I want to divide my MOM change. Okay, and I'm using a division operator, that is forward slash. I want to divide this by my revenue to the previous month, right? And I will press enter. So you will see a new measure called month on month percentage change has been added, right? Now this I have to format, because this is a percentage value, I have to give it percentage format. Okay, now let me just select this visualization. Let me just select this visualization. I'll keep it on focus mode so that you can see it. And I will put my month on month change in my variable over here. So if you see, because we don't have the values for June 2017, I'm getting something known as infinity, which is an error. It's called divisional error. If I go back to report, if I see for 2019, you will have the percentage change, which is visible. Let me just adjust this visualization so you can see the figure. Okay, let me just resize the handle. You can see the percentage change for 2019. You can see over here. Then you can go to 2020. Then you can go for 2021. Now we don't have any value for 2021, but we have only previous month value, which is for June 2020. So you will see in over here you have this 100% change, and you will see over here this much change. Here you will see this much of change. Now, one of the thing, when we calculate the percentage change, we don't want this total to be appeared at the bottom. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to resolve this error of infinity, which is a divisional error. So how we are going to use it? Let me go back to this measure again, month on month percentage change. Instead of using this division operator, I am going to use a function which is known as a divide. Now divide is a function in the DEX library which will help us to divide the value by numerator and denominator, and it is going to also handle the error part. Let's say, for example, if I am having a divisional error, division by 0, okay, so you can safely avoid this thing over here. So what I want is, I want to divide, the first argument is numerator. So I am supplying my numerator, that is month on month change. Then I am put comma. Then I have to give denominator. Denominator is my revenue previous month, comma. Now the third argument is important, alternate result. What if there is an error or there is no result? So I'll simply put 0. Okay. This will handle 0 error, right? So now if I press enter, what will happen? It will automatically take, if you don't have any value, it is only going to change value, and it is handle the 0 error, right? So if you see, now my error has been gone. This infinity error, division 0 error has been gone. Otherwise in the bottom also it will be written as infinity. Now first of all, I don't want this total at the bottom, so I'll just format this chart. I'll go to visual, and in totals particularly, I do not want values, so I'll off the values. Now let me just format this chart one by one. First of all, I want style to be there by default. Grid line or don't, and values, most important. I want a black values, want to keep it bold, and I want to keep it a bigger one, that is 11 size, or let me keep it 10, right? Then I want column headers to be black in color. I want to keep it bold, and I want to keep it 12 size. Then totals, I don't want it specific column. I do not want to apply any settings to specific column, but this is interesting. I want to add cell elements. If you see cell element here, I want to do some conditional formatting. So here in the cell element, I want to apply a formatting to MOM percentage change, right? So here you have a different options. You can go for background colors, you can go for font colors, you can go for data bars, you can go for icons. I want to apply icons. So if I click on icons will be applied, and this is by default icon. Now, if you want to edit this icon, say for example, I do not want this kind of visualization to appear in my conditional formatting, I am going to click on this f of x. If you can see, it's a conditional formatting. Make this property change under different condition that you define. So I can define my own condition. Let's just click on f of x. Now here it is important to understand that what kind of conditional formatting you want to apply. So here we have something as rules. Here you have something as values. I want to apply on value. This is the field that I wanted. MIM change. Left of the data, you can just keep it icon only, or right of the data, I'll keep it by default left, and alignment I want at the middle. Now I can choose my style over here. So say for example, the general styling format which is being preferred, that is if you have a positive value, I want up green arrow. If there is an mid value, I want yellow dash line. And if it is an negative value, I want red down arrow. Now here I have to define my rules. Now in the rules, here it is written greater than equals to 0. So if my value is starting greater than 0, now I am having two things. I can have number value also, and I am having percentage value. Now, if you choose percentage, then it will restrict you to only 100 value, because percentage cannot be greater than 100. But if you have a percentage which is growing more than 100%, so percentage change, if you see the value over here in our data set, so somewhere we have the value which is 175%. So percentage change can be more than 100. So for that, I am going to use a number, right? And I want it to minus 100. Now, if you can understand, minus 100 is minus 10,000%, right? So I am giving a broad range, because percentage, if I put it, it will restrict it to 100 only. But what if my percentage value increases beyond 100? So that's why I am using a numeric number format, which will be more than 100 as a percentage. So if I write down the value minus 100, this will become minus 10,000%. Okay, so this is a safe value that I'm putting it. So if it is between minus 10,000% to, here also I am putting it minus 1. Minus 1 as a number means, if I put minus 1, so it is 0.01%. Okay, then if it is between minus 10,000 or minus 100 to minus 1 as a number value, then I want a red down arrow. Again, the second part, if it is from minus 1 to plus 1, means minus 0.01% to 0.01%. One number represents what? If I divide this one by 100, so that becomes my 0.01. So this one represents what? 0.01%. So if it is between minus 1 to plus 1, then I want yellow dash line. And if my value is from 1 to 100 as a number, so 1 as a number, it is 0.01%, and 100 represents 10,000%. So if this is the range that is there, then you apply this kind of formatting, and I'll click on OK. So you will see wherever there is a 0, it will show you the dash line, and wherever there is a change which is uh, now you can see over here that wherever I am having 50.45, I'm still getting a yellow dashed line. If it is above 100, I'm getting 138. Why this error is happening? Because in the conditional formatting, we have set a rule which is of minus 1 as a number. So if you see, this is all our percentage. So if I go back to 2018, you will see the month on month change. If you see minus 5.32%, now this is a percentage. So if I divide 5.32, it will be 0.05. So this error is happening is because I have to set this my cell element, and in the conditional formatting, I have to set this values not by 1, but I have to set by 0.01, because 0.01 will take into the consideration of percentage value. So from minus 100 to minus 0.01, I wanted red down arrow. From minus 0.01 as a number format to 0.01 as a number format, I want yellow dash line. And from 0.01 as a number to 100, I want up green arrow. So this change will be taken into account for percentage format, because our percentage format can go beyond 100%. So if I click on OK, your all error will be resolved. Now So now if you see, wherever I am having 0.00%, it is a yellow dash line. If you see, I am having 214.39. So this is more than 100% value. So this will be taken into account because I have put it value from 0.01 to 100, which is 10,000%. If you see minus 45, it's a red one. Now, if I go to 2019, you can see the change over here. 138% change is there in terms of July. When I compare my July revenue with the June previous month revenue, the change is this and the percentage change is 138.94. Now, if I go and see over here, all the values are there. But if you go to 2020, you will see there is a minor change which is there in the December. So you will see the December revenue which is between minus 1% and plus 1%. Okay, so you can understand minus 1% to 1%. So that is 0.01 value from minus as a numeric value and 0.01 as a numeric value. So this will take into the consideration minus 1% to 1%. So if my value is minus 1 to plus 1%, then it should be yellow dash line. Okay, so this is how actually we create the month on month percentage change. Now, along with that, I also want to see, let me just format this, and I want particularly the header column to be of lesser size because it is taking more space in my visualization because my visualization should also be visible. Then I can arrange my this table in terms of border also. So let me go to general and let me go to effect size. I want visual border to be there and I want the border for 2 point. So it looks really good. Okay. So now if you see, I'm having a waterfall chart which is showing me the month on month change. Along with that, the trend that is happening in 2020 that I can see over here. Now if I let me go to, you can see the change over here also. So if you see the August change is 58. So you see this positive change over here. But if you come to October, you will see the revenue is 22. You can see the revenue over here 22 and it has gone down by 43.59. You can see the over here in the average. Now you can just go to this January part. So if you see in the January, it has dropped down to 52.47%. So you see the trend that is happening in October, there is a dip. In January, there is a dip. Then in April also there is a dip. So if you go to April, it is minus 24.17%. Okay. Now if I go to over here and in this area visualization, you can go to visuals and you will have something known as the general part tooltips. You can just click on the tooltips. As of now the tooltips is all auto generated, right? But if you want to see the change, then also you can just click on this visual, okay, and you can have the values that is there for other year also. So if I go down 2019, you will see the revenue that is changed, particularly October. So you can see the October, what is the change, what is the change, that is minus 37.54%. And you can just go for the January, the percentage change is minus 39.71%. And if you go to April, you will see over here there's a decline 2.95%. And then you can just see for the June also there is also below average, which is minus 30.99%, which is compared with the previous month revenue. Okay, so this is how actually you can do the trend analysis and see the changes in your revenue that is happening over a period of time. And you can have this kind of month on month change. This is one time intelligent functions that we have used is month on month, but we have previous year, we have previous quarter, we have previous day also, right? So in this video, let me summarize it. What we have learned is how we can add a trend chart, which is one of the interesting chart, that is waterfall chart, which is going to tell you the trend and change. You can check it out year on year, month on month, day on day, quarter on quarter. Here we have seen how the value is changing or the revenue is changing month on month. Similarly, we have created a table in which we can see the actual numeric figure and we can see the change that is happening and the percentage change, right? So for example, in 2020, if you see over here, we can see for July, August, we have 1.6 million. So you can go to August. Okay, the change is nearly 1.6. But if you see over here, there is a drop down. And if you see minus 43.59%, so this is minus 43%, that is in the October. Okay, so in this visualization, we can see from the bar height that what is the change, and this will tell you the numeric figure that what is the overall change that is there. If you see over here in the December, you can see there is a very minor, but how much in terms of percentage change? So that percentage change value will get it from MOM, that is percent month on month percentage change. Okay, so in this video we have learned about waterfall chart, how to format the waterfall chart, then how to add the table visualization, and how you can add the different measures to your table, and how you can do the conditional formatting, and in particular the conditional formatting, how you can refine your value, or you can define your own value, and you can use any kind of visualization within your report. Okay, so this is your month on month trend analysis which we have seen in this video. Now I hope you have learned a lot of things into this video. If you have any questions regarding this video, then you can ask me definitely in the comment section, and I'll definitely reply to your questions. I hope you have liked this video. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get more videos on such Power BI tutorials. I hope you have enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Thank you.